she comes.
Sisters, the living holy saint of the Emperor, Saint Ananias, scourge of heretics.
Now, in the name of the Emperor!
Good.
There, it is done. May the Emperor's blessing carry us on to victory, sisters!
We thank you, honored martyr.
So... it is true, then. These blessed shrines will confer invincibility.
Indeed, within each shrine lies a true and sacred relic of the ecclesiarchy. Now that the edifices have been blessed by a living saint, they confer upon her the inviolable aura, as scribed and fervently mastered by the great ecclesiarch Jonasiah Vuonis.
And wherever she goes, no harm may befall us?
Precisely. Neither our persons nor our belongings.
One pure bright candle amidst a sea of filth and darkness.
That is well said, Canoness. This is a tainted system. It may, in fact, be irredeemable.
Then we shall purge it with fire. I have yet to find a cinder that was not faithful in its praise of the Emperor. All is made ready?
Yes, mistress.
Good. These would-be conquerors shall have a taste of our fire and faith. The Emperor will punish them through us.
We must go as martyrs! We must go in flames! In flames!
When the Sisters of Battle arrived in the Kaurava system, General Stubbs knew there was only one way he and his guardsmen would make it through alive. No victory or act of penitence could clear them from suspicion by the reckoning of those ecclesiarchal zealots. Knowing that he had done no wrong and unwilling to submit to inquisitorial reconditioning, the general prepared for battle. At first, Stubbs had hoped that the enemies of the Imperium would spare him the unwelcome task of pitting his men against the feared and dreaded Sisters of Battle. Unfortunately, Stubbs did not feel he had the luxury of waiting for mutual enemies to do his dirty work. He resolved on a bold and desperate move to attack the Sisters of Battle's headquarters directly before they could come to him. With the advantage of surprise on their side, the 252nd Regiment, although weak of will and faith, showed themselves stronger in arms and armor than the pious Sisters of Battle. This extraordinary feat surprised even General Stubbs, and on congratulating his troops afterwards, he remarked that it was certain proof that the Emperor had willed the Imperial Guard to hold dominion over the Kaurava system.
They come!
Yes, we feel them. They approach. Their blood shall flow at our feet. Blood for the blood god! Yes, we shall slake our thirst for death, for chaos, for terror, yes!
They draw near. Let them come. The very ground will poison you. Demons will appear from the warp when your back is turned. And we shall lash out from every direction, and yours shall be the cries of death and horror. The sound of your doom will ring in your skull, in your soul. You shall tremble, and your blood shall be a gift to the blood god. Let them come. We are ready. We cannot die! How can we? Without a devotion? Without sacrifice? Oh, the horrid blossom of chaos will wither! Will die! This world is slipping from our grasp.
There can be little doubt that the 252nd Conservator Regiment's assault on the Chaos Space Marines was fueled by a sense of lost honor and credibility. While a final judgment could wait centuries in Segmentum's martial courts, General Vance Stubbs knew well that the warp storm had erupted on the Imperial Guard's watch, and that many suspected heresy among their ranks to be the cause. Whether to make amends for their failures, or to prove their detractors wrong, the brave men of the 252nd fell upon the enemy on Kaurava 4 with all the force, armor, and firepower at their command. Under the rigorous command of their new general, the men became brave and resourceful. In such high spirits, and hoping that the defeat of Chaos would banish the warp storm with it, General Vance Stubbs declared it a day of celebration, to be commemorated by all Imperial residents of Kaurava forever afterward. Effigies in the Alpha Legion colors would be burned, and guardsmen paraded and honored as was their due. see, Big Boss Gorgut? This here's the strongest and bestest orc has ever held an orc.
Oh, is that so then?
Ain't no Yumi's got in here ever. With the Rockclaw Mountains all round us, there's only one way in. Even if there was to get in, they'd have all the boys to face. Oh, and the knobs, and the tanks. Then there's the squig-offs.
Say they beat all that.
That's when we get them with the fighter bombers. We'd squash them to a pulp. We got watchers watching day and night. Nobody but an orc gets close to us without we see them and crush them to smithereens. Boss! Boss! There's enemies in the camp! What? In the camp? We gotta stop them before they gets to the killing spot. Them drums! Beat the drums! Get to 'em!
What's this here killing spot?
Beat the drums! We've got to hold the killing spot!
Bestest orc ever, huh?
My beautiful orc!
I've had enough of this. Come on, boys. Let's get out of here.
Had known strife between the orcs and the Imperial Guard long before the present conflict, in the form of isolated outbreaks and outright war. But before this time, the Guardsmen had faced the Caravan Orcs alone, who were never as organized or aggressive as now, under the leadership of War Boss Gorguts. Unfortunately for the Orcs, the Imperial Guard was also fighting under a new leader. The determined General Stubbs dogged Gorguts right into the Rockclaw Mountains, farther than the Imperial Guard had ever penetrated, and there dealt his Wa a mortal blow. While the Orcs of Kaurava were thoroughly defeated, less is known concerning the great Orc warboss himself. Imperium scanner logs indicate that an Orc craft did take off from the scene, but any other information was lost to the heat of the battle. The guardsmen of the 252nd Regiment, who had fought in the Battle of Rockclaw, took on the proud moniker of Orc Splitters, and the mountain itself came to be known as Stubbs Peak.
Commander Boreal, enemy forces in our perimeter.
Where?
Southern Quadrant, but they were on the move. Current location unknown.
There is no time to be lost. Battle, brothers! Space Marines, today the enemy is at our door. We know our duty and we will do it. We fight for our honor as Blood Ravens, as Space Marines, and we fight in the name of the Emperor. And if we die this day, we die in glory. We die heroes' deaths, but we shall not die. No, it is the enemy who will taste death and defeat, as you know. Most of our battle brothers are stationed in space, prepared to deep strike. Our perimeter has been prepared in the event that our enemies should be so bold and so foolish. We have placed numerous beacons, allowing for multiple, simultaneous, and devastating defensive deep strikes. Codex Astartes names this maneuver Steel Rain. We will descend upon the foe. We will overwhelm them. We will leave none alive. Meanwhile, our ground forces will ensure the full defense of our headquarters. We are the Space Marines. We are the Emperor's Fury. Failed. The Emperor. Stubbs was forced to attack the Space Marines directly was, to him, merely an unfortunate necessity of the war. Stubbs had every respect for Force Commander Boreal. After his Imperial Guard forces had outgunned and overpowered the Blood Ravens, he felt great regret that the commander's life could not have been spared. That, of course, was impossible. No Force Commander would ever flee or surrender while his company fought and died. The few Blood Raven Space Marines who had been unable to die honorably were given prompt medical treatment and dispatched to Segmentum Command. The dead were given all the honors and funeral rites due to their station. These proceedings, however, did not for an instant deter General Stubbs from installing a company of his guardsmen in the lands of Solitude, or laying claim to the usable munitions and other equipment left intact. The loss of good Imperial Space Marines was regrettable, General Stubbs reflected. But the charter of his regiment and his own personal ambitions had, after all, left him only one course of action.
presence, Aun Royu.
I see that our Earth-cast engineers have made splendid progress in constructing the Nanyanoi base station.
Yes, Your Eminence. It is nearly complete. There are only a few gaps remaining in our perimeter defenses, and they are heavily guarded until our orbital defense system is fully operational.
Setting stabilizers. Ready to fire.
Excellent. And this Arca cannon you have built, quite a marvel, as I understand it.
Indeed. From this moon, we can fire on any habitable territory in the Kaurava system. Do you wish to inspect it yourself? It harms only advanced life forms, thus avoiding damage to structures and plant life.
This is indeed most commendable.
Our orbital defenses were built using the same technology. Both are controlled from this location.
What is that?
The perimeter has somehow been breached. I must attend to this. Please, Your Excellence, return to the Coalition Center.
Yes, that may be best.
Dispatch Pathfinders, locate the source of the breach, and see that they do not gain entrance and establish a foothold. Notify all Fire Warriors and Krut Carnivore squads. Let us hope that our defenses are strong enough to hold them. Pick your targets. Aun Royu, noble Imperial! Oh, we have lost you! We have lost all!
General Vance Stubbs' heroic conquest of the Nanyanoi moonbase meant the end of any true Tau threat to the Kaurava system. In fact, the breach of their technologically advanced fortress and the death of their Ethereal rendered the Kaurava conflict a bitter memory to the Tau. It would be centuries before the Tau would again consider any attempt to expand into Kaurava. Before the troops, General Stubbs showed disdain for the impressive Tau fortifications and battlements. Even if the outpost had sustained little damage in the assault, it would be unbecoming of pious servants of the Imperium to show too much interest in alien and heretical technology. More quietly, however, Stubbs had many Tau artifacts and weapons secreted to Segmentum Command, knowing well that he could curry favor among his superiors if their study should reveal new insights into Tau military function. While his men celebrated, looted, and vandalized the Xeno stores, General Stubbs smiled to think of the progress he was making on an undeniably ambitious career path.
They approach. We are prepared.
Yes, Farseer, but
Yes,
must we fight?
we shall fight. They must never suspect. They shall come, expecting the obvious, the simple, the artless. They shall stab at the shadows with confused minds and troubled hearts. Meanwhile, we shall appear unseen from 10 directions, and from every one, strike a fatal blow. you know the history of this place, which we call Esselir Talith and the young races call the Upper Wastes?
We, the Eldar, made our war camp here. In a past age.
Yes, that is so. Our ancestors came here to fight the Necrons when they were an overwhelming wave that swept the worlds. This system was one of their stages of destruction, their foundries of undeath. Our ancestors defeated them here. We constructed our war operations center here as an illusion. No brute army, no simple display of force could uncover its secrets, and none ever shall. No, it is more than an illusion. It is a clever trap, this place our ancestors forged. It is a net covered in leaves that the savage beast willingly stands on, tempted by a bloody morsel, only to find itself hoisted, trapped, at the hunter's mercy. No, we shall guard our secret. No force can strike a target it cannot find. We shall not yield up our foothold on this world. Karava was once ours, and shall be ours again. We came here long, long ago. We did battle with our deathless foes, the Necrons, and won. This day we have lost. If they swarm again like locusts here, some other must stop them. For we shall be gone.
An ancient Eldar stronghold had resided on Karava III took the 252nd Conservator Regiment entirely by surprise. Something that General Vance Stubbs was not pleased to hear of. After sending the officers responsible for intelligence on Karava III to the firing squads, General Stubbs undertook to remove all non-Imperial presences from the planet. Although the strategies and technology of the Eldar far outmatched his abilities, the fearless general marshaled firepower and heavy armor to great advantage, finally revealing, cornering, and removing the Eldar forces from the face of the map. What the Imperial Guard found after the battle was evidence of an Eldar military presence older than theirs, and, in fact, older than the very Imperium. General Stubbs paused only a moment to wonder at this, before ordering nearly all of the Eldar structures and artifacts summarily destroyed. In Stubbs' mind, Karava III was a waste planet, good for mining a few necessary military installations, and no more. The Upper Wastes would make a finer low-grade outpost for the Imperial Guard.
give you energy. Drink of it and awake. Shall meet their ends. They shall join the army of death.
They cannot withstand us!
The 252nd Conservator Regiment, under its former commanders, ever taken their census and survey duty seriously, the ancient Necron stronghold of Kaurava III would probably have been awakened hundreds of years prior to the Kaurava conflict. Whether their failure to keep any presence on this wasteland planet was remarkable luck or dismal negligence is now debated heavily by Imperial historians. Invigorated under the capable command of General Stubbs, the Imperial Guard showed their best face, and everything that the ancient exhumed necropolis set against them were beaten back with ample munitions, perseverance, and heavy armor. Adapting the example set in the War of Cronus, General Vance Stubbs had cargo loads of bombs shipped to the Emosan Plains, and every inch of possible Necron catacomb was subject to multiple detonations. Following the victory, Stubbs forbade any future Imperial surveys of Kaurava III.
We are fresh from the fight. We have shed blood. Death, terror, and anguish sang sweetly in our ears.
But Lord Terran, have you taken prize?
Do you doubt me, Grumenea? Many prisoners were taken. We have our tribute to Komara, and many left over for our slave chambers, and your torture grounds.
Come, Archon! Come to my torture grounds. We win, we lose, win and lose. But always richer, richer with slaves and spoils.
Indeed, we shall be well respected and rewarded when we return to Komara.
When we return, if we return. Return the victors, or return the vanquished. high grounds, where screams are flowers and pain their fragrance. Fine nest we have, high upon the cliff, hard to see, harder still to reach. Will they reach this nest? Will they take away my garden?
Are you questioning my right to lead? My inevitable victory? I am the deadly shadow and the bird of prey. I am the poisoned dagger that brings swift death. These crude and foolish armies know nothing of strategy. If they see a wall, they attack it. If they see an army, they charge at it. They will be too busy with each other to notice us. Or if they do, it will be too late. Worry not. And it is of no matter, we keep a keen watch. If an army approached, surely we would see it coming. Then we would tear it to pieces.
My mind bears a great pain!
You fool! I will have your head for this. Quickly, back to cover.
Well, if he had died, I should have taken his place. Now I must flee.
Charge!
During the Kaurava conflict, the Imperial Guard were some of the hardest hit by Dark Eldar hit-and-run tactics. These raids, often small in size, came under the cover of darkness and at lightning speed. Often, the guardsmen on duty would not have returned a single shot before the Dark Eldar ships were speeding away, laden down with captives and other spoils.
The Dark Eldar penchant for speed, fear, and striking from the shadows served them poorly. However, when they found the 252nd Conservator Regiment pounding on their door, no amount of running or hiding could save them. The Imperial Guard swept over the Blackheart Cabal's compound on the moon of Lacune, crushing everything under its mighty martial treads. The Imperial Guard soldiers were horrified at the tortured and mutilated comrades they saw there. And when their victory was near, this was channeled into a vindictive rage, which did not subside until the enemy's buildings and vehicles were shattered, leveled, and then crushed into dust.
The 252nd Kauravan Conservator Regiment proved their right to rule in no uncertain terms. General Vad Stubbs' ability to organize and reform this long-neglected army did not go unnoticed by the Segmentum top brass. His career could not fail to rise, in time, beyond the role of Governor-General to a small star system. For the time being, however, Stubbs busied himself and his proud regiment in post-war reconstruction. Thankfully, the Warp Storm vanished of its own accord. Kaurava 4 was suitable for resettlement. Only Kaurava 3 did not feel the commotion of construction, mining, and terraforming. This planet was left largely barren. Who could say what else slept beneath those sands? In time, the system became a proud Imperial hub, and famed Guard academies turned out superior infantry, second only to Caster itself. Kaurava became home to proud human populations, warlike and devoted to the Emperor. In these times, it would be hard to imagine that a bloody war had been fought, or that heresy and chaos had ever been there.